Today, I'm going to tell you a story. Let me introduce you to the characters. We're going to change their name to protect the innocent. We had some clients. We're going to call them John and Sally. See, John was a U.S. Marine. For more than 30 years, he served our country, did a phenomenal job raising a family, came home from the military, became an LA City firefighter, and actually, to this day, some 40 years later, continues to serve in LA City as a fire safety inspector. Well, one day, John met Sally. And you see, Sally and I had a history. Sally and I worked together in the 90s, the 1900s, at Albertsons. John and Sally met each other, have a beautiful relationship, and have been married for a number of years now. And it was time, after over 30 years of living in a 2-story home, to find their forever home. That was a single story. The stairs are getting a little bit harder after all these years. And so they called Heather and I and asked us to find them that home, but they did not want to leave Placentia. And we get it, we love Placentia as well. But we had one small issue to deal with in regards to the recent market we've been in. John wanted to use his VA loan. For those of you who don't know, the VA loan allows for our veterans of the United States to purchase a home with no down payment. So we went out and we found homes that they loved. We wrote 14 offers to get no counters, no acceptances, and we were losing all hope. The issue is a lot of sellers aren't interested in working with VA buyers because of the no down payment. They feel that's a negative in their financing ability. And so their offer just didn't look as strong. We tried hard to compel people by explaining John's service to our country, Sally's incredible involvement in our community, but to no avail. And we were running out of time.
So I have a little story to tell you, more about how God works than about how we work. So we had somebody call us. We're gonna call him Adam. Adam is a friend of ours that we went to school with. He happened to get a flyer on his front porch with our information on it, and it came at just the right time. So Adam gave us a call and explained to us that his mom was having some difficulty and needed to sell her home. Now, this home is the home that she raised her kids in. We're gonna call her Mary. So Mary had lived in this beautiful home in Placentia for over 30 years, raised her kids, thought she would stay here until she left this earth, but God had other plans. So she needed us to sell her home so that she could move to Arizona, where the rest of her family was. The issue was that we couldn't market it. So it became obvious that this situation was gonna take some creativity. She needed to sell her home without us putting it on the market, no open houses, no for sale sign, no flyers, no marketing whatsoever. But Aaron and I knew we wanted to help.
So hey, I was just telling them about John and Sally. Do you remember them?
Yeah, but I was just telling them about Mary and Adam.
Well, this is perfect timing. So we find our story at John and Sally without any hope.
And Mary needing to move and being fearful of how that was going to be possible.
So we had a dilemma on two different sides, but sometimes problems have a way of solving themselves. We had an opportunity to take John and Sally over to see Mary's home, and with it being off market, but wanting to make sure it was very important for all of us in this, that Mary's financial future was intact through all the difficult times she was going through. But we knew that John and Sally knew the market well. Heck, they've missed out on a number of homes because of their unique situation. So this was a perfect opportunity to get them into a home where their offer can be reviewed without a competitive environment. And so, of course, when we brought them there, they fell in love.
So we need to backtrack a little bit in this story. We had an opportunity to sit down with Mary and her son Adam and just find out what her needs were, because as much as we needed John and Sally to be taken care of, we also needed Mary to know that we had her best interests at heart. So we had a sit down conversation with them, and the whole time I just kept thinking, I know this story. My heart has already been pulled towards this woman who was wearing a mask, so I could only see her eyes, but I just felt like I knew something. So we fast forward a little bit. We take John and Sally over for the home inspection. So we're kind of in the middle of the process, still figuring everything out, and Mary's not wearing a mask. I looked at her and knew her. I knew her story. I'd been praying for her for years. She was part of a Bible study that I led several years ago, and I had no idea that her son Adam was a friend of ours at that time.
Just amazing. You saw this woman who had been dealing with a whole bunch of unanswered questions, been ripped with fear for a number of months. She shared with us that she hadn't been sleeping well, and it was just the stress level was at a max. But when she realized who Heather was, but more importantly, when she realized how big our God was, she just dropped every single bit of that emotion on the floor of her garage as she cried and wept and hugged Heather. And to see the peace that became involved in that situation immediately, not just for Mary. For Mary and Adam, it was a big deal. For Heather and I, that became a turning point in this transaction as well, because we also always question these happenstances, because we do take this job very seriously and we want to make sure that we're doing what's right for our clients. But John and Sally, when they saw that interaction as well, they knew that this was the right home for them. We can sit here today and say that everybody was able to get what they wanted in this situation, and they're extremely happy with their new homes. But we just want to encourage you, if you have a unique situation, if the sale of your home is not conventional like everything else, or your ability to purchase is out of the norm, it doesn't scare us. We'd love to get a chance to talk to you, and we hope you enjoyed today's story time.